Okay, we are live. So, hi everybody. This is Blake Cabot. I am the owner of FacePaintcom, and I'm here today with Pam Kinneberg. Organized.
Hello.
Hi, Gilbert. Gilbert's here. Gilbert's always
Sweet.
here. Bless him.
All right.
And we are going to show some Christmas designs using Kraze FX face paint with stencils. So the primary purpose of this is to show off stencils more than Christmas designs. And I hope you enjoy it. And Pam is, she's blogged for us for years. She's an extraordinary face painter, and I hope you guys like her work because I certainly do. So with that, Pam, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I've got several designs. We're going to get through as many as we can here, and feel free to ask questions along the way. Blake will relay them to me and I will answer them as good as I can. But we're going to start with a poinsettia design on this first one. And so here, I'll just get going. We're going to start by, it's going to be just a one eye design in this area. And I'm going to start by adding color to her eyelid there using Elisa Griffith's powders. And this can be done in many different ways. But for this one, I'm just going to use powders because they give a real nice soft effect. Mm-hmm. And
hi, Kathy. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Antoinette. For those that caught the last one, I did buy the chocolate candy bars and they were delicious. It was sort of caramel chocolate thing. Anyway.
Oh, wow, that sounds good.
It really was. Yeah, we're getting closer to dinner.
Chocolate and caramel is great.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm just starting with this kind of teal color. It's kind of a frosted color and getting that right on the eyelid. I'm gonna give a little dimension here with putting a little of the dark blue and blending that in the outside corner like that. And if you want to make it sparkly, there's a white kind of glimmery powder that you can put on there. And you can't really, I don't know if you can, well, yeah, you can see it. It sort of gives it a real nice sheen look to it. So there we've got the eyelid done. It's always nice to sort of tie that eyelid in so that it's not just sitting there all blank. The next thing is I'm going to paint the poinsettia, and I'm using for all the rest of the designs I will be using Kraze paint, but for this poinsettia one I'm using a couple of one strokes that I made myself for poinsettias. And so this one has like a burgundy, a red, a gold, and a yellow in it. And the first thing I'm going to do when I start this design is just kind of give myself a little map as to where my petals are going to go. And so I grab some of the paint. I'm using a 3/4 inch flat brush from our factory. And I'm just going to, and I learned this from Denise Cold, is when you start, just put a few little lines in there, like with the end of your brush, to give yourself an idea of where your petals are going to go. And that helps you kind of keep focused. So I've got like 5 little deals in there. Now what I'm going to do with this is here, I'm going to load up my brush.
Ashley asked, will there be a Christmas holiday type split cake available soon? Yeah, that would make an incredible amount of sense now you say it, Ashley, but the answer is no. Although if you've got, okay, here's the answer. Give me a set of colors that you want in a split cake, Ashley. Write them down and I will see what I can do, but it's probably going to be, I got to say it's going to be in February because it just takes a while. It does not happen overnight.
So just to jump in, what I want to do first is create petals that are a little lighter in color. So I've loaded my brush with the full color and I'm going to swipe it over some white paint to dull it down a little bit. And then I'm going to go in and paint my lighter colored petals. And when I paint them, I kind of move my brush around to give the edge sort of a unstraight, you know, they're not perfect. They've got sort of a like little rough edges. So I just kind of wiggle my brush around to give them that sort of look. I'm going to get a little bit more white paint in here because it didn't dull it down very much. And then I'm going to do this petal over here. Because when you look at a poinsettia, some of the petals are lighter in color. They're not all the same. So I'm just doing a couple lighter ones. And I'm going to do one, I'm going to do kind of a little one right here. You can see that that's a little lighter. And maybe a little one right here.
Well, Ashley, you and I are on the same page. I asked Pam for these colors, so I'm working on it. Hi, Asma, if I pronounced it correctly.
Now I'm going to reload my brush with the strong colors again and use them just as this without adding white to them. And
oh, by the way, Pam, Barbara says hi.
hi, Barbara. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I'll put a petal over here. And see, that one's a little darker. And I'm going to put a petal right up here that kind of wraps around the eyebrow like that. And then my last petal right here. So there you have, no, yeah, if you can see it pretty good there. Some petals are a little lighter and some petals are a little darker. And that's the base of my poinsettia. And then I'm going to add a couple leaves in there using the same brush with this one split cake that I made, one stroke with kind of some greens and blues in it. And I'm going to use that for my leaves. So loading up my brush. And I'm keeping the dark color on the outside of my leaves. People can do it either way, but I prefer to keep the dark on the outside. And I'm going to make sure that all of the leaves are kind of, they move in towards, you know, they like circle around the eye rather than moving out from it.
Barbara and Ashley love this, and Patty DeLeon says hi.
Oh, hi, Patty. Oh, sweet. Thank you, guys. Okay, so there's one petal, and then I'm going to put another petal here. And then one at the top. Like so. So now I have some petals in there. Some leaves, I guess, not petals. This is giving my red a chance to dry a little bit so I can put my stencil on there. All right, and so the stencil that I'm going to use two for this, and the first one I'm going to start out with it's a Boomerang Stencil. Let me see if you can see that. There we go. And it is called Boho Leaves. And I'm going to use this one for the center and then this one on the side. So I'm going to use the sponges that I really like to use for stenciling are these yellow ones. They're a little bit denser and a little smaller tip on them, and they seem to work better for me. So the whole trick with stencils is to not have your sponge too wet. And I sat in a class with Leah Selly, and she had such great ideas and great advice on paint. But the biggest one that I got from her was when you are loading your sponge, you kind of want to load it until your sponge sort of sticks to the paint. And that way you know it's not too wet. So if you slightly lift it up and you feel like the sponge is sticking to the paint, that's a pretty good load right there, and it's not too wet. The other thing you do is I always test it on my hand to make sure that I don't have too much water in it. All right, and so I'm just going to place this part of the stencil over the center of the flower, and then go ahead and just dab it in there. The other thing too, working with stencils is going to be really different working on these practice boards than working on the skin. So you kind of have to actually even have a drier sponge when you're working on these boards because it doesn't take a whole lot of water before it creates a mess. So I'm just tapping this on, trying to get in all of the little areas and then removing it. And there you have a nice little design in the middle.
So Ashley's got a couple questions. How do you know what split cake colors work together, such as leaves? How do you know that the blue is a good color for the greens?
You know, I tested a whole bunch. I didn't just stick those colors in there and hope it worked. What I did is I had a whole bunch of greens, a whole bunch of blues, and then I just painted them in strips on my wrist to see which colors looked nice together before I decided on the actual 4 colors that I wanted to choose. And I don't know, you know, color is, there are so many color combinations. I just wanted one that was a little bit more neutral and not bright. And so I was looking for colors that were more in the, they weren't like super bright. They were more kind of middle of the road sort of colors. I don't know. It's trial and error. I haven't created a whole lot of one strokes that I'm super happy with, but this one I'm really happy with. And I really like
I'm going to try to create that one too, with Pam's permission, I should add.
Yeah, that's super.
Another question was, Kimberly Calderon asked, how do you sanitize all your stuff? Ashley said rubbing alcohol. Do you have any other tips on that?
You know, I always use some sort of brush bath in my water. You can use this Lush brush that is, you know, sanitizes things as you paint. So you're dipping your brush in that, and that sanitizes your brush before you know, reload it. I have a 3-cup system. These are my little cups that I use, that you find them in the kids department. And I have a little magnet on the bottom. They stick in my craft and go. And I have 3 of them together. So the first one has my cleanser soap, you know, Lush brush in it. My next one is a rinse. And then my third one is a final rinse. So a lot of people talk about the 3-cup system. And I do use that. I thought in the beginning that would take a whole lot of time, but it really doesn't. It's like boom, 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 and you've got your brush, you know, cleaned. I do not clean my brushes with like alcohol in between kids. I don't do that. So, you know, I also have a spray, Beauty So, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a spray sanitizer. That
Beauty So Clean?
Beauty So Clean, yeah. And you can spray that on your brushes in between uses, and that helps.
Yeah, that works well too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm thankfully I don't live in Canada where they have really strict regulations.
Actually, Beauty So Clean is made in Canada.
Really? Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great product, and it gives. And I spray my paints down with that. I bring them home, I clean them all, and then I spray them with that Beauty So Clean, just to double do the cleansing part of it. So,
another question came in from Linda. Have you tried finger daubers for?
Yes, yes, and I will be using that on one of my designs to show you finger daubers.
Okay.
You know, I like finger daubers, but I hate washing them. So I tend not to use them as much because my sponges are easier to wash. So, you know, there I am being really lazy. Okay, I'm going to use this part of the stencil now, and I'm going to do one little branch right up here at the top, and I'm using dark brown paint. And I'll just tap that in there, and it just gives another little, you know, piece of a plant. There's that part, and then I'm going to do another one right here. And one thing with using stencils, and it works much better on skin than it does on these boards, is when you are tapping the color into them, you could sort of like just, you know, if I can show it, just rub the stencil across it like this rather than tapping it, and that spreads the color around really good. But I've noticed on these practice boards, it almost takes the color off underneath it because you've got such a smooth surface. So it works better on the practice board to tap. But like on my skin, I'd be just like rubbing it across. I wouldn't be tapping it. Anyway, so there you've got the branches on there. And
question came in that's so funny that we've got to answer it because I know the answer to this one. How are you holding your camera, your phone camera?
what, you see this wooden leg right here? This is a stool, a kitchen stool, and I have my camera up here strapped to the top rung. So it's straight out over the top of my painting area. Is it a problem or?
No, she just wanted to know how you were doing it. She thought your husband was holding it for you or something.
Oh, no, I've got it taped and I've got ropes strung around it, and it is sturdy up there, but it's super straight. It's right over my area, and it is working like a charm. All right. So, yeah,
Barbara asked about the boards. You're right. We do have boards, but we do not have these yet. We have a version of them, but not those specific ones. The Jest and Silly Farm sell them, so they're great.
Yeah, they are really, really wonderful practice boards. And I do a lot of eye designs. And so this kind of, I don't know, 3/4 view of the face is so nice. It's such a nice angle because I've been looking for this sort of a practice board for a long time.
Yeah.
So this is excellent. All right, and now I'm going to put on some snowflakes using this, another Boomerang Stencil. Let's see, it looks like this, and it is called Frozen Snowflakes. And that's what we're sort of gonna make them look like. So here's my technique here, is what I do is
And those are badass stencils?
They're Boomerang Stencils.
Boomerang Stencils,
yeah,
okay.
Put out by Art Factory.
Okay.
Yep, and I think I checked, I think you have this one. It seems to me you have these on your site. Okay, so what I do when I have my sponge like this is I'm going to be using white for the snowflakes, and then I'm going to be applying glitter on top of them to make them all shiny and glittery. So I use the paint on one end and the glitter on the other end. So I spray the whole sponge with water. I never spray my cakes. I always spray my sponges. And that way my cakes don't get all gunky. But and this is Kraze white. It's just in a different, it's an earlier version of a round container, but this is Kraze white.
The embarrassing beginning.
It's a great paint. I use this all the time, and it's really nice. There's a lot of it in here, and it's great paint.
Yep.
It's a great white.
Those are the round containers.
I mean, I like this. It has a nice big magnet on the back too. That was a nice feature. Okay, so loading up my sponge, making sure it's not too wet, loading until it seems like it's sticky, you know, to the paint. And then I'm going to take this, it's a Mama Clone Iridescent white glitter dust. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to wait to put that on until I've got my snowflakes on. But this is nice because you can take whatever portion of this that you want. You don't have to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do this top portion, and it's so nice because it curves right around in a perfect way, right around the top of the eyebrow. And so I'm just putting it kind of right there, and I'm only going to do this part of it right here. I'm not going to do this back part. So I'm putting it right over my leaves, and let me tap that on. Oh dear. Okay, I've got my cat trying to drink my water out of my cups.
This is live, people.
Yeah, he's going to spill them. Okay, sorry about that.
Kim wanted to ask. She struggles with stenciling. You know, sponges sometimes are too wet. They're struggled holding it against a child's face. Someone has showed her this weekend how to use Starblend and Daubers with stencils instead of using sponges and paint. What do you think?
Yep, there are a lot of people that like to use Starblends. It's not my preference, and I will show you one design where I'm using Starblend. I'm using a black one, and I will kind of talk about it at that time. I just haven't gotten into the practice of using Starblends and powders, but I know a lot of people do, and they swear by it. So it's a great thing to do, and I will demonstrate it here on one of these designs. So now I tapped the other end of this into that white iridescent paint. Look, do you see the cat? Oh my goodness. Get out of my water. Go, go.
I love
Oh my
that.
goodness. I'm sorry.
What's the name of the cat? We're going to have to know.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, Pumpkin, yes. And
Okay, people,
he
what are the
loves,
names of everybody's cat? And does your cat drink face paint? I want to know
he
this from the
loves
group.
drinking out of my face painting waters. Every time I'm face painting, he has to come up and drink the water out of it. I don't know what his problem is.
That is so
Okay.
funny.
So I don't know if this is going to work because my paint is drying, but let me tap. I'm tapping this right over the stencil. So my glitter is only going to get where the stencil is, and it's not going to get all over the whole design. And that's what I like about this technique, is that you get it just where you want it. And so when you lift it off, you see how nice and glittery just those snowflakes are. If you can see that. They look really cool. They almost look like a gem that's been placed on top. The other thing I always carry is one of these cool unicorn brushes, because the kids just think these are the greatest. And I use them to clean off excess glitter from their faces. And they think it's the coolest thing, because they don't work for paint, but I just had to have them because they were cool brushes, and I couldn't find a use for them until I realized they were perfect for cleaning off glitter. So just smooth out the extra glitter. And then I am going to repeat this towards the bottom of the design. So I'm kind of reloading my white. So I have a little bit more. And just in you know, answering that question about learning how to use stencils and how, you know, the sponge is usually too wet, or, you know, that it's difficult. It is a learned thing. You know, you just have to keep practicing. And I think that the thing that really helped me the most is the comment is, when you are loading your sponge, make sure that your sponge almost sticks to the paint. That's when you know it's loaded better and it's not so wet. So just rubbing, rubbing, rubbing until you've got a tacky feeling on the paint.
Gilbert and Barbara thinks that design is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And names of cats so far are an orange tabby, Otis. We've got one called Panther. So far, only one seems to drink paint from Linda. So that's we haven't. I can say we haven't stress tested this at Kraze FX's quality control on cats yet. I gotta say, that hasn't been something we've tried just yet, but I like the idea of it. I like the idea of it.
Okay, so here's my bottom ones. And so I love the way that you can put those glittery snowflakes on top of your design. And you see how it just curves in towards the center of the face. That's always what you want to do, is make sure your designs are going towards the center right here. And so that's the way I curved all my stencils. All right, and then just to finish this up, I am going to use Kraze FX Red. And I'm going to put some little red dots on the ends of this. Oops, that was a little wet. On the ends of these little branches here that I stenciled on there to give some color. And I'll do some right here.
We got some people from Mexico.
Oh, sweet. Hi, Mexico.
Hola.
People.
And Chloe thinks that's beautiful. It's a great design, really is. I mean, that's a really lovely design.
Thank you. It's simple to do. Most of these designs, well, all of these designs that you're going to see tonight are really meant for.
They're not going to see all these designs because it's 6:30 right now.
What? It's 6:30 already?
Yeah.
Oh my word. Okay, well, let's go to the next one.
I knew that I didn't know when to break that to you.
Yes. Okay, well, I'll keep going.
Not the quantity, it's the quality.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, I'm going to do a teddy bear. And we are going to use, let me find my flat brush. I'll get my flat brush out. I'll try to do this a little quicker.
Well, let me make a few announcements.
Sure.
One is the weekly Kraze palette giveaway is still going on. So if you guys are interested in that. I don't think the Instagram contest is now complete, and we will see who the winner is. And we have Kraze is finally back in stock, which has been a nightmare, I got to tell you. And lastly, the next webinar that we're having is next week. And it is all about split cakes. And although we haven't put the announcement on the website, which is kind of unfortunate, but I know what it was going to be.
Well, you're thinking, this is Nebula, Kraze FX, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful combination. I love this one. And so I'm just sponging the color on her eyelids. So you've got some color going up there, trying to blend them in and using a petal sponge. And then I'm going to use, this is called Tardis. Did you get that from Doctor Who?
Okay, I'm not sure about that one. I think Beth McKinney made them all up at that time. Then we started asking people what they really thought it should be called.
Well, that's a good name to remember. I can remember that one. So I'm just loading up my 3/4 inch flat brush. And to make my teddy bear, I'm going to start like right in the center, like right there. And I'm going to rotate my brush around in a semicircle, like so. And then I'm going to go, well, I'm going to even that out a little.
Oh yeah, it has been announced. You're absolutely right. I made that mistake. So the winner is on our Instagram contest, and that was pretty freaking amazing design. If you haven't seen it, it's yeah.
All of them were amazing designs. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that I honestly don't know how you do that with face paint, but that was the winner.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was.
Super talented. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just making 2 arches with this one stroke. And then I just go up here for the ears and I lay my brush, lay my brush like this. And then I just rotate it around like that to make an ear. And then I'll do the other side. You know, I don't know if I can do it left-handed. That might be tricky. And just rotate my brush around to make the other ear. Yeah, that's tricky with my left hand, but that'll do. And then I come around this side and I just make a little, sort of like a little backward C and end up by the corner of the eye. And I do the same thing over here. Make a forward facing C and just drag it down to a point in the corners of the eyes. And it's always really nice at this time to spray this with, I'm using like a blue crystal, what is this called? Sorry. Why do I not have that written down? Anyway, it's like an ice blue glitter. So that gets sprayed over the whole thing. And then I'm going to come in and put a little nose and some eyes. And then I'm going to use a stencil. But let me get the black in first because I have to want that to dry.
Someone asked an extremely odd question, which I don't understand this exactly, but I caught flies at one time. It was a struggle. I think it may be bees. All I use is water and spray in the water, but flies were coming into the solution. Does that happen to people?
Like if you put the solution in your water? Yeah. Oh, that's never happened to me before. That's crazy. Huh. No, I've never had that happen. I don't know what kind of a thing was put in there. Was it one of the products that are sold? Like,
I don't know. Maybe it's bee attracting face paint. Again, we have not at the quality labs for Kraze FX. We have not stress tested this against bees either. I should also add. Cats, dogs, basically all the animals. We've never really tried it out on a lot of animals. Horses, no go. Yeah, no, I don't really have that one figured out either.
Yeah, put them in your notes.
But I did look this up. On the 11th, we're having Elaine go, and that'll be from that'll be a little different time. That'll be 7:30 Eastern time because she lives in Australia, and there is no way she's waking up at 5 in the morning.
Right. I wouldn't either. Okay, so I'm taking this bubble stencil. This is a BAM stencil.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just use it with the same sponge that I used for the eyelid. So I just sort of reloaded it a little bit, but you could even just spritz it with water and it would just really activate the paints that are still on your sponge. And then I'm just going to tap this on here, and it just creates sort of a nice little end to each side. It's sort of like finishes off the ends. They're not so harsh looking. And I've seen people do this sort of technique with a lot of designs where they'll use a stencil like on the edges of a design just to kind of soften how that ends. And I just think it's a fun little, I love this little stencil. And the reason I bought it was from the last webinar that you had, and she used the stencil, and I thought that's the coolest stencil ever. So I got that.
And which BAM stencil is it?
It's called Bubbles.
Bubbles. Okay.
1310 is the name of it.
Okay.
I mean the number. And then
There we got it.
to create a fuzzy look on the teddy bear, I take like a number 3 or number 2 round brush, whatever you prefer. And then I just paint like little teardrops that come down like so, all the way down his head. I usually start in the middle and go down one side. My teardrops are not getting very good. And go down the other side. And they basically go around all of the blue areas, just to give it that fuzzy sort of look.
Mm-hmm.
And then around this part too.
It's amazing.
And it just softens that little guy. And then around his little legs here. This one in the middle is way too white, so sorry about that. Okay, and then I put a little highlight in each of the eyes to make them come alive, and then like one on the nose. And then you can leave it at that, but if you're the gem kind of person, there's these cute little snowflake gems, and I don't have glue on the backside, but you can see what I mean. You put that right up there, and you could have cute little snowflake on your little teddy bear. So that's the teddy bear design.
Awesome. Linda asked, said a rake brush can help save time with sort of the same effect, or what are your thoughts on that?
A rake, oh, sure. It's going to give a very different effect. It really doesn't take too long to go around like this. And you could use a rake brush. It's just going to be much finer strokes. These are a little thicker and whatnot, but you could do either one. That would be fine. It's a good idea.
Patty thinks that was you've inspired her to do Christmas designs, and Barbara says, "What a cute bear."
Oh, thank you. That's so nice to hear. You guys all inspire me. I can't believe I would inspire you. Okay, here we go. Let's go. We're going to do a kitty one. It's not going to be pumpkin. It's not going to be an orange cat. It's going to be a white cat. And I'm going to go, I don't know, I love this color, so I'm going to go back in with the same color, do her eyes for the sake of time here. Actually, I have this on this design, so it's not like I'm putting something new in here. A little bit more of that purple color in there. Just go right around the eyes like that. And okay, so we've got that. And then I'm using Leah Selly's pet stencils. And I use this cat one a lot. I love it. So this is going to be a Christmas cat. And I'm going to put the little head right there. And I'm going to come in with the sponge. These are my favorite sponges of all time. They're called Mickham. You sell them. They come in rounds and I cut them in half.
Mm-hmm.
But these are, I love the weight of them. I love the density of them. I love these sponges. They're my all-time favorite. picking up some white with my sponge. And this is where I'm going to show the powders on a stencil when I get to the kitty face on this. Okay, so I've got my white, and let me.
Okay, let me get the sponge. So what's the sponge called again?
Mikim, M-I-K-I-M.
Mikim.
Is it? I don't know how to pronounce. Yeah.
Actually, it turns out that it's a Belgian company, and the guy named it after his wife.
Oh,
whose
wow.
name is Kim, so it is my Kim. There we go.
Oh, that's interesting to know.
Yep.
Sweet.
I met him on Christmas Day 3 years ago.
Well,
Why we had a meeting on Christmas is still a mystery to me, frankly.
Yeah.
Round sponges, right?
They're round, and I cut them in half. And you know how I cut them in half? I use my electric knife. It works like a charm. It gets a beautiful cut right down the middle. No chunks out of there. You're not getting it off center with a scissor. I just take my electric knife and go, and it just cuts them right in half. Works perfect. All right. Now let's see.
One question came in, which is, what have we done so far? The answer, Joan, is we've done a polar bear, and we did a poinsettia.
A teddy bear.
A teddy bear, sorry. And we'll be posting this right after this. It'll be so you can watch it again. So you won't have missed a thing.
All right, so now I'm painting a scarf on the kitty using the light blue paint and a filbert brush from Art Factories. And then the scarf is going to go right over the eyebrows on each side to create a symmetrical design. And not everything I do is symmetrical, but sometimes it works really great to do a symmetrical design. So with the scarf, I'm going to put tassels on the ends here and here. So I'm making sure these ends are sort of squared off, but they come down to basically the corner of the eye again. So you're just wrapping your design around the eyes, which is again, everything's kind of coming and pointing toward the focal point in the middle.
We've got Irish, English, someone from Limerick, Ireland. Eileen is watching you.
Oh, hi, Eileen from Ireland. Wow, I just told somebody about less than a week ago that that's one of the places I'd love to go, is to Ireland.
It's a beautiful spot. You're not wrong there. Fatima says she has trouble with mermaid designs. We did some sea creature designs a couple weeks ago, Fatima. I'll see if I can get the link for you.
Okay, I'm just putting some dark blue in here just to give it some depth and dimension.
Oh, another question came in. What glue can you use to stick stencils? To stick jewels.
The jewels. I use like Prozaid.
Okay, Prozaid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or you can use, one time I had a job, and I had made all sorts of bling stuff to sell. It was my first one. I had just like lots and lots and lots to sell. It was a paper face event, and I was so excited. And then I realized I forgot my adhesive, and I was like three hours away from home. So what I did is I went and I bought some eyelash glue in the little bottles, but I think they're called Duo or something, and worked like a charm. It was great. So I would suggest eyelash glue too, because it worked really, really good. Okay, so I just added some depth with the darker blue in there, and I'm going to be coming back in and outlining that, but that's the background for it. So that the scarf has dimension. All right, so let me show you this. This is where, actually first I'm gonna put the hat on because I wanna get that red on first. I'm gonna give her a little red hat. Just trying to get all my base colors on first so that they dry.
Mm-hmm. Ashley also said spirit gum helps. You can use spirit gum as well. I know people have done that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can use, but yeah, I kind of use Prozaid. I feel like it really adheres the best.
Patty wants to if you could, she wants to post pictures of the designs. She says the light's a little, needs to be a little bit more clear. So if you, after this is over, if you send me the pictures, I'll post them on the Facebook.
Yeah, I have pictures of all of them that I took, really good light. So I will send those to you.
Okay, great.
Yeah. All right, so I've got
Hi, Tom.
2 stencils that I want to use on here. I'm going to use this one first and the face second because I want this red to dry a little bit. Okay, so I put an order into FacePaintcom the other day on purpose to buy a particular BAM stencil that looks a lot like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my order all filled out, sent, and received it in a record time and realized I hadn't ordered that stencil. It's because I was going to use it for this design. And I was just like bummed. And I do have this stencil, which works great. But this is not a face painting stencil. It's like a Tim Holtz collection stencil, which I use and it works great. But I did want to demonstrate the BAM stencil that looks a lot like this. It is number 9037 that has a pattern like this on it.
9037?
Yeah, it's a copycat stencil. So there's a big one and a small one, and it has a sort of, design like this on it. But I'm going to show you it with this so that you can see kind of how I wanted to use it. So again, I'm taking, actually I'll use this. I'm using a Dauber. These Daubers here, the ones that I hate to wash, but they work really good.
They do that.
And I've already preloaded it. They work better if you've already used them for a color. The first use is really tough, but the second and third ones with the color work really good. So I did that ahead of time. And I'm just taking up some blue, some dark blue, some Kraze dark blue. And again, these two, when you load them, they sort of you want them to stick sort of to the paint, so you've loaded them properly. Then I'm going to lay the stencil down on part of the scarf, and I'm just going to give the scarf some detail. So, and I kind of press down and turn, press down and turn, press down and turn, and that sort of gets. You're probably kind of hard to see at this angle. But if you see there, it has this little.
Tracy, could you hold it a little closer to the camera, please? It's hard to do because we discussed this earlier, but the camera is strapped to a stool.
I know.
And there are limits on what we can do on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'll try to hold them up a little bit when I can. All right, and so I'm positioning that same area up here. Getting that on there. And that one turned out much darker. I'm trying to go fast. But do you see how that works? So it gives it sort of that scarf sort of design on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to do one right on the hat also. Just to give that a little character too. So see that? So we got some cool winter patterns on those scarves and hat. Now, here's what I wanted to show you with the powder. I have Starblend powder right here. And I have this, it's like a little flat Kabuki brush. The end, you see the end is like flat, it's not rounded. I got this from Stencils. He just got them in, but I think you can find them maybe other places too. But anyway, this works super good with the powders. Here's my stencil for the little face. And I'm going to put that right here and tapping this into the black powder. And you kind of want to tap off the excess a little bit. And then you can go here and just kind of just circle the brush around a little bit. Some more black. And I found that like circling the brush like this is a better way to get that powder into the stencil. than just being light-handed with it. You have to sort of be heavy-handed with it, because then it'll be nice and black when you're done. Just going in a circle around. Okay, and then so when I take it off, oh, and that didn't work quite as good. It takes practice. That's not perfect, but part of it is. This side is perfect. Anyway, so there's that, and I always keep like a little like old brush around to do some dry brushing with, and in this instance, I want to give the kitty some little cheeks, so I'm just using kind of a dry brush. I wetted it just slightly on my paper towel, and then I'm just going to give little cheeks to this kitty, so it has rosy cheeks like that.
I put the product details in the description. Good thought, Ashley. She says we ought to do this and time lapse this video and then put it up on YouTube. Why not?
Okay, now I'm just going to outline with the black. My face got wonky on that. I've tried it several times, and this is probably the worst I've ever done. So sorry about that. Live video, you know, it's going to happen.
Yep. Cats drink water, stools collapse. It just, there's chaos out there. There's just chaos.
Not everything's perfect. It's not a perfect world. You know, we like to post all our perfect work, but you just have to know that not everything comes out perfect every time.
Oh, it looks like the Aristocats. Somebody, Ashley pointed out.
It does.
Iris, you're right. It does. I love that movie.
And when you're outlining, you know, just try to do thicks to thins rather than outlining it with a really thick line or whatever. So just you have some variation in the line. It's probably not the best right there, but anyway, when you lay your brush down and then take it up, and then you get a little thick to thin line there.
Mm-hmm.
Like so.
True enough. Not all makeup comes out perfect. Most of it does. Well, Matisse painted over the water lily, so it gives you some sense of it.
And then I'm going to put the little I'm going to go in with my white, and I'm going to put tassels on the scarf with little teardrops. So
Marlo asked, did you ever use a mini kabuki with paint?
Not with paint, but with powder. I wish that would have come out. It's bugging me, but came out earlier, really good.
Don't let it bug you. It's great. Everybody loves this design. Trust me.
Oh,
back me up, people.
So just do teardrops for the tassels on the end of your scarf, just like that. Come down towards the eye. Like that, and then some highlights on the scarf. And then put a little dot right in the eyes. Kitty eyes there, brings them to life a little bit. One on the nose. Add some little starbursts.
Mm-hmm.
So. And there you go. There's your little kitty.
There you go.
Fun little kitty. How much
Thomas
time?
Loves it. We got 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Okay.
So what can you do? It's so cute. Joan loves it. Thomas loves it.
Oh.
Thomas points out the obvious truth. You always see your own mistakes. Nobody else sees them.
Oh, I know. Oh, well, thank you. This is actually a girl design, but I'm going to use a boy here because it's my last stencil. I don't want to take time I only have one more of these. I'm not going to take time to clean the other ones, but let me do this really quick because it's one of my favorite ones. All right, so I am taking a sponge and I'm going to use Oceanic. Kraze. I love these domed cakes. They're great.
Yeah, the dome cakes work well. I haven't really seen them that often in action, so this is good.
Yeah, they're really nice. Okay, then I'm going to sponge a semicircle on the forehead.
And Patty,
So,
because you asked for it, I just kind of created, I think, I hope this works, because yeah, doing this in the middle of the session is not always easy. But yeah, I think I've got a 20% discount for Kraze split cakes because you asked, and I'm trying to figure out how to come up with a code. But once I figure that out, I'll put it out there.
okay.
Oh, Lisa asked, how long do these take in real time? Like if you were doing this and then we're trying to explain it.
You know, the first time is always going to take longer. I have not, you know, done these on a real person yet. So I don't know. I would say, you know, depending on, you don't have to go put all of the little details in there, but I strive to have my designs take 4 minutes or less. I would have to do these designs quite a few times to get up to that speed. Because right now I kind of have like, okay, what step is next? What step is next? That slows me down. So 4 minutes is what I strive for design. So ideally these would take 4 minutes, maybe 5 in the beginning for sure. All right, and so I've got that on there. And so what I like to do with these things is once I've gotten the background on there, I like to flip my sponge the other direction. So my white is on top and my dark is towards the bottom, and then sponge on my stencil. So I'm using this Snowflake Sphere Blue Stencil, and it has a
Pam 20.
ruffled
Good thought.
edge on it. And then I'm going to use the same sponge. It's a great way to make use of the same sponge and save time by just flipping the sponge around and using your stencil right there. So you've got the reverse of what's underneath. So when you take off the stencil, that's what it looks like. Isn't that fantastic? I just love that. This is a beautiful stencil. Let's see. Can you see that? It's such a pretty stencil. And then you can do some.
Oh, one question came in is, what is a dome cake?
These are domed. You see how they go up in the middle and they're lower on the edges? You know, when you use your cakes, how they tend to want to like get worn down in the center, and then you have all of this paint on the outside that you're not using. These, when they start domed, they hopefully will eliminate that problem of ending up with a cake that has a bunch of paint on the outer edges and you've got it down to pan in the middle. So when you start with the dome, it alleviates that. Can you tell that that's domed?
Yes.
All
So
right.
this all came out of working with a bunch of face painters. I've got a group called the Kraze Artist Community, which several of you are members of, no doubt. If you guys want to join, it's just a community where I talk about the Kraze face paint and get your ideas. And I'll give you a link to that. Anyway, somebody said, well, why don't you have a dome? Because it kind of goes into the inside and doesn't work on the outside. So therefore.
Yeah, it's great. They're really nice. Okay, so now I just use the stencil for some of the snowflakes below the eyes also. So it's it brings this design kind of around and then again, pointing this direction. That's my goal. So when I've got that, then I want to put a little penguin right in the middle. So this little penguin crown. And what I like to do before I get that done, now I've lost my, here it is. I take one of these little mops, I think they're called. I think you call them anything. They're little foam craft things.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little white on there because this is going to be his belly. And he's going to go right here. So I'm going to put his little belly here and just put a little area in here for his face. So I get that on there before I put my stencil on there. And then for my stencil, I'm going to be using global dark blue, and I'm going to be using this Mama Clown black shimmer glitter. And this is one of my favorite combinations because it's so beautiful. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it from there, but we'll give it a try. I use this dark blue color, load up my sponge. And then test it, and that looks like it's going to work. Paint doesn't dry very fast on these boards, so it might take this off a little bit. I actually have a little fan here, but I think it's going to be too noisy. I'm going to just dab that paint so that it dries a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to put my little penguin right over that. You see how that is. And then tap on my dark blue. And again, I'm sort of just rubbing it over. Like I said before, you can just rub it right over, and that gets into all of those little sharp points and everything really, really good. Great way to do it. And then once I've got that, I'm taking my poofer, and I'm just going to poof right on top of the stencil.
Gilbert says the inverted color on the stencil was a great idea. The gradient is awesome.
Thanks. All right, and so then there, you have, isn't that pretty?
Yes.
I just love that. The black glitter on top of the global dark blue is just so, so cool. And so you've got your little penguin, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of line work in there, and then this one will be done.
Okay, and I will have hopefully created the code by the time this is over.
Or crack the code, one or the other.
One or the other, dear God.
Okay, so this one.
I'm an internet retailer or something. I should know this kind of stuff.
I'm just using a round brush, and I'm going to make little semicircles around the eyes, like that. Kind of a double one.
Gilbert thought that was a beautiful job. Is a beautiful job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And he thinks that could totally be a boy or a girl look.
Well, penguin could be. Yeah, absolutely. And then just some little teardrops coming down the side. So, whoops, I started that one up way too high. I wasn't paying attention.
Got it.
And then I'm going to put some icicles coming down here. Just kind of shake the brush a little bit. Like he's standing on a little ledge of icicles.
Nice.
Kind of finishes off this center area.
Okay, finally got it. Yasmin thinks it's very pretty. Oh, what's the penguin stencil, please?
That's an ooze stencil, and it is called Penguin, I believe. Let's see.
Ooh, penguin.
P14 Penguin. It's a petite, one of his petite stencils.
Okay.
Put some highlights in here.
I don't think we have that one.
Oh, shoot.
It's okay.
It's cool.
It is. So for those of you guys that are watching this and have gotten this far, your loyalty deserves to be rewarded.
Yeah.
So I've created a code called PAM20, and it is for all discounts related to Kraze split cake. So it'll be 20% off.
Oh, sweet. That's nice. That's nice of you.
Regina, so I'm running this on Facebook Live as well. So it's on the FacePaintcom page. So there's a couple people watching on a webinar, and a lot of you guys are watching on FacePaint.com, our Facebook page.
And then you could also tap a few little dots in here to kind of like, it's almost like a little snow globe, this top part. So with these little white dots in here, I'm having trouble getting them as dots, but just kind of spread them out, and it sort of gives a little pop to all of this blue. And it makes it look kind of like a little snowflake. Put the little dots down here. And of course, this is a really good opportunity to do lips, with some glitter lips on here. But where are we on time? I probably have to be done.
Pretty much. Yeah. We're between me and dinner, which is always an uncomfortable spot. There's the most dangerous animal in Africa, and I don't want to push this analogy too far, is being between a hippo and water. And Oh, how long is the code good for? It's good for 2 days, Anita. So you have 2 days to buy all the split cakes you can grab.
All right.
Oh, and here's I should have given the link to the split cakes. But go ahead, please.
No, I wasn't going to actually even say anything. I was just going to say this was super fun and I loved it.
Well, thank you for doing this. This was very exciting. So I think we're going to have Pam back in about a month. And she is going to talk, I think, during Christmas designs, although.
Winter designs.
Winter designs, that's right. Winter designs.
So they'll be more generic.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, I appreciate all you guys coming. Somebody used the sunset Kraze design and for Halloween design, it worked great.
Awesome.
So thank you all for attending. Next week, we're going to be doing split cakes with Elaine Go from Down Under, which I understand a few of you are from.
She's awesome. She is awesome.
She is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about that. And so thrilled to have you guys, and stay tuned. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Pam, and everybody have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.